Hello, you're watching Ellie from Ellymentry Papercrafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. I have in front of me 3 lovely stamp sets from Stampin' Up, and they're all very popular stamp sets with all the demonstrators around. My particular favourite at the moment is the Flowing Flowers. I just love it to bits. Forever Fern is a really useful stamp set. It goes with all of the floral sets. Some beautiful leaves there, which you can cut out using the die set that comes as an optional extra. And then Free as a Bird is a delightful little stamp set which has obviously the gorgeous birds but the little lovely blossoms and leaves as well. Today I'm just going to use the bird from this one, and I do need to let you know that this particular stamp set is going to be retiring. It's not going to appear in our next annual catalogue, which begins at the beginning of June. So if you want this stamp set, you do need to get it now before the end of May. Flowing Flowers is a current one till the end of June, and Forever Fern is carrying forward into the next annual catalogue. So as of now, they are all available. Okay, so to begin our card today, I'm going to be using a piece of the cardstock, which is one of our in colours, and this one is called Fresh Freesia. So this is a whole sheet of Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to pop it into my trimmer, which is a very useful tool. It enables you to cut and score all in one tool, and the measurements are very easy to follow across the top here. You have inches and centimetres, so whichever your preferred measurement scheme is, you can use it with this one. So I'm going to start by putting my paper here up against the 2 3/4 inch mark, and that's 7 centimetres, and I'm just going to score. I'm going to take that edge now up to the 5 1/2 inch mark, which is 14 centimetres. And the last measurement is 8 1/4, which is 21 centimetres. And my last score is going to be on the 11 inch mark, which is 28 centimetres. So we have a piece of cardstock which is divided into 4 areas which are the same width, and a thinner area on the end, and the thinner area is going to be the tab to stick this card together at the end. Now I'm going to be working on the score line here, so you've got 2 panels that measure the same that side and 2 that measure the same that side. This one in the centre is what I'm concentrating on at the moment. I used one of the Stitched Shapes framelets to cut a circle from the middle of my card. Now, this particular set isn't actually available from Stampin' Up anymore, but you can use any die that you have that will fit into there. You need to leave a space of, I think that's probably about 1 inch. So this one, if I just tell you the measurements so that you can have a look at something you've already got. So if I measure from the cutting edge to cutting edge, it's just shy of 3 inches, which is just slightly more than 70 millimetres, 7 centimetres. So that gives you a rough idea. So you can go a bit smaller or a bit larger. Okay, so I'm placing that as near to the centre as I can. I mean, I can measure if I want to be absolutely precise, but I think that's probably accurate enough. And I'm just securing it with a piece of low tack tape. Mine's actually like a sort of post-it note. I'm going to cut this out now using my die cut machine. So if I just take that tape off now and remove my die, and then that will just fall out. And this piece I can keep for another project. So I'm going to take 2 of the stamps from the Forever Fern stamp set, and I'll just show you which ones they are. It's this one and this one. It doesn't matter which ones you use, I just like these ones. So I'm just going to place my stamping pad, foam pad, down before I stamp, and I'm just going to pop a piece of paper underneath that so that I don't stamp onto my sponge mat. Okay, so pop that in there. Now I'm going to use Soft Succulent, which is one of our current in colours, and I'm going to stamp randomly with these leaves around my circle. Now I'm going to put them quite a long way out, like so, and you'll see why as we progress with the card. I'm going to use some die cut leaves and fussy cut leaves shortly, but I want to make sure that the whole area is covered with foliage, and so that's why I'm adding these stamped leaves as well. Some of this will be covered up, and that's absolutely fine. They don't have to all feature, but I just want to make sure that there is foliage all around this circle. Okay, so that just gives us a nice full foliage effect. The next thing I'm going to do is fold and burnish all those score lines we made just now. Now that this ink has dried a little bit, it'll be safe to do so. So I'm just folding them down using my fingers, but I'm going to go over them using my bone folder shortly. And you do need to fold all of them. It's nice to see that that was quite accurate. I will admit in my test card I had gone quite a bit lopsided and it didn't match very well, but that's fine. So when we come to stick our card together, we're going to stick it on that back bit, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So I'm working with my card. Now it doesn't matter which way up you have this, you'll see it's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter, but I do prefer to work with it with this on the right hand side for no real apparent reason. So I'm going to stamp my greeting at this stage. So I want this to be a birthday card, so I'm going to pop happy birthday at the top there, and I want this to be really bold, so I'm going to use my black ink for this. So this is the basic black, so I'm inking that up really well, and I'm going to turn it round this way just so that I can get on top of it to make sure I don't get this on top of my leaves. So that's it. Now when you stamp with these, particularly the sentiments, you don't need to press hard. If you press down too hard, you can actually distort the stamp. You just need to keep your finger on top, make sure it keeps contact with the cardstock for a while to let the ink transfer to the card, and then you will get a good crisp stamp. Now that is at a slight angle, but I don't mind that. I think it looks quite nice with flowers that things aren't always dead straight. Sometimes at an angle actually is more pleasing. Now I've gone ahead and done some stamping and die cutting ahead of time, otherwise we would have been here forever. Now I've used these stamps here to create some lovely flowers and leaves to go on our card. And I've also used the bird here as well. So I've used, let me show you the colours. I've used Magenta Madness and Polished Pink, Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, Soft Succulent and Evergreen, Evening Evergreen, which were the colours I used here. So these are all the pieces that I've stamped and die cut, like so. And I'm going to put these all around my circle to make a kind of wreath. So I'm going to start with my bird because I know I want him to go there. Now I'm not sticking anything down just yet. I'm going to place everything and see what I think looks best. So let's pop our flowers round to get the fullness to start with. Then I'm going to pop our little blossoms in between like so. And I'm always turning the flowers and the little blossoms in between to different angles. Now you'll notice I'm going over the edge of our circle. Okay, I want to get a shape in the middle, an interesting shape in the middle. So we'll pop these in there like so. And you'll see that some go over and some go under the main flowers. So I'm probably not going to need that one, but we'll keep it over there. It might go in later. And now it's simply a case of tucking in the rest of my foliage and knowing that if there are gaps between these, it won't matter because it's already filled with these other stamped ones. Now I'm going to go ahead and start sticking down the flowers that I know where they're going to go. But I am going to stress that I'm only sticking them to this area because I want to tuck the leaves behind them. So in this instance, I'm going to put the glue onto the card, okay, because I know that way it's not going to go onto the circle in the middle. And then I'm popping that back where I wanted it to go. So I'm going to take this one away just a little bit and pop my glue down. This way you know exactly where your flower was. And this one's going to go over, under that side, like so. What I should do, bring in my little silicone mat to pop under there in case I get any glue there. That'll stop it going on my paper. So then I can come in with this one and just place it there so I know where it is. And glue that one down. And put more glue here. Now carry on and put the rest of these on. Okay, now I've stuck all of my flowers on and the little bird there, and I made sure that when I stuck these here, I only stuck them up to the fold line so that when we open the card, which is going to sit like that, the flowers will be able to just protrude from that opening without any problem. Okay. And then it's just a matter of popping in all my extra leaves wherever I think they look good. So that's all my flowers and leaves stuck down around the circle. And if I turn it over, you'll see that it's created this shape in the middle, like so. And then I'm going to fold this in half, like so. And that's going to go in the back. Okay, like that. And the card will stand up like so. So that's how it will look. Now, I think it would be nice if there was something in the middle of this card so that when you see it from the front, like so, you can, it's not plain. So I've stamped a couple of pieces of paper using these stamps, and I'm going to use that paper to cover these two panels here. Okay, so there's my two pieces of designer series paper. Now I'm going to add this one on this side first, and this is the piece that has this tab here. So I'm just going to put glue on the back of this piece. Now, I did put the glue on earlier and realised that I'd made a bit of a mistake, so that's what the marks you can see there. So just put some glue all the way round, and I'm going to stick this one down. And the good thing with the liquid glue is that it gives you time to just manoeuvre it slightly to make sure everything's in the right place. Now, I cut this to 2.5 inches by 8. That's how we've got that 1/8 of an inch border all round. Now on this side, I stuck it to this side by mistake. This is where it's going to stick, and my tab is going to be inside. So if I'd stuck the card, the decorative paper down, when you look through the back, you would see that this tab, which we don't want to happen. So I'm going to stick it down first, and then I'm going to stick the cardstock, my piece of decorative paper, in afterwards. It will be a little more fiddly, but it will be a better finish. And I'm just holding that down with my tweezers. Pull this over and put some pressure on it. Take your bone folder if you like. You can see, because I didn't glue that right up here, when I've folded this in half, it's enabled it to just hang over the side without any problems. Now, just go, I must make sure that this is completely dry before I try and work on it. So I should probably pause the video for a minute or two just to make sure this is completely dry before I carry on. Now I've made sure that that is really stuck down. I've run my finger up and down inside and it is stuck fast. So now I'm going to put this piece inside like so and just make sure that that is stuck down, and that's going to stick down over that tab so that when we look through the centre of our card, we won't be able to see it. It will look just as nice as the other side. So let's go ahead and put the glue on that side. is a bit fiddly, I will grant you. It's not as easy as it is to put it on before you stick it together, but I know you will be happier with the result if you do this. Now, it's quite easy because of that glue. It won't dry straight away. It does give you a minute or two to get it in the right place. And because it's inside, if it's not absolutely spot on, they won't notice, but it'll be pretty close. And I'm just using, as you can see, I'm using a ruler to make sure I got all that pressed down. If you've got small hands like me, you can probably get your hand in as well. That's it. So if I hold it like this, you can see the effect you've got. The beautiful flowers and leaves that you've put around, the interesting aperture you've created. You've got your greeting on there. And as the card stands up, it will look like that. And the person who's going to display it can have this slightly flattened if they want, or square out, however they would like it to look on their mantelpiece. And just to show you that this card will fit into what we call in Britain a C5 envelope, which is this one. Okay, so that will fit in there. Those little bits hanging over the edge will fit in without a problem. And if you're going to post this, I would advise you to put a piece of cheap cardstock, slightly bigger than the card, you know, just slight, you know, something that will fit in the envelope on the top of that, so that the edges won't get bent in the post. So that's our card for today. A nice little fun fold, and you could actually use this idea for any design on the front at all. It doesn't have to be floral. It can be anything you like. Your favourite things for gentlemen. Be quite nice to see, you know, if you come up with something completely different on this idea. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please click the thumbs up button underneath the video on YouTube. I'd love you to subscribe to my channel, and in the description box below you'll see a link to my online store where you can order any of the products I've used today. There's also a link where you can download a digital copy of the annual catalogue and the current mini catalogue, so you can have a look through there. And again, if there's anything in those catalogues you'd like to order, then just click on my online store. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.